Good evening, class. We are Group 3, representing the Florida Museum of Natural History, as we seek funding from the National Science Foundation to support the Integrated Digitized Bio Collections Program, also known as iDigBio. This grant will propel the next 5 years of the program's success. The museum is a top-notch institution committed to studying and safeguarding the wonders of the natural world. With its extensive array of exhibits covering a wide variety of fields within the life sciences, visitors can delve into displays showcasing biological specimen, fossils, and artifacts, and can even interact with some of the installations. Thanks to iDigBio's coordination, training, and community building efforts, they have comprised one of the largest virtual collections of Earth's biodiversity and contributed to more than 2,000 studies so far. With support from the NSF, we would be able to continue working towards our goal of digitizing natural collections nationwide.
So, what is our proposal specific need or problem statement? Well, the Florida Museum of Natural History mainly wants to focus on the effects of climate change, community awareness, and the lack of digital resources. As many of us know, the ecosystems of our world are consistently changing due to the negative effects of climate change. A great example of this would be the 18 coral reef genera that have disappeared within specific regions of our world, with six of them being extinct globally. While a majority of our community might understand the general effects of climate change, the specific negative impact that our environment may face, they might be completely unaware of. We found that this is mostly due to the lack of digital resources that are available to them. We found that having digital resources that are accessible and interactive engages in patrons' empathy and might help them put themselves in the shoes of specific species. A good example of this would be a VR headset that we have found in our research that had interactive games of cows being poked and even just the general bleaching of the coral reef system. And because we are currently digitizing our collection, we feel that being able to digitize and completely make accessible all of our resources will be able to influence younger generation of scientists and climate activists. For example, currently we have in our collection the Castella centicosa, which was found in a threatened ecosystem and that could be potentially extinct. Due to this, we think that if we are able to get the funding, we're able to digitize 100% of our collection and make that accessible and turn those into educational programs for our community.
So, what are some of our key objectives for this proposal? Firstly, we'd like to complete digitization of botany and environmental archaeology by 2030. We'd like to foster discoveries and research on biodiversity and environmental issues. We'd also like to implement monthly interactive virtual experiences by late 2024. We plan on strengthening community engagement through partnerships and empowering future innovators with science education. We'd also like to expand access for students, faculty, and the science community, and utilize AI for biodiversity data integration. We propose several activities to meet these key objectives. We would like to conduct an assessment of the current collection to determine digitization needs, develop a digitization plan outlining the specific goals, timeline, and resources required. We would like to acquire necessary hardware such as high quality cameras, scanners, and equipment for 3D modeling, and implement software solutions for data management, image processing, and 3D modeling. Our staff will be trained on digitization techniques, data management, and use of relevant software tools, and collaborate with experts in digitization and data management to ensure best practices are followed. We would like to begin the process of digitizing specimens by capturing relevant data such as species names, collection localities, dates, and digital photographs, and utilize sound and video recording equipment for specimens that require audio-visual documentation. We will create 3D models of select specimens to enhance digital accessibility and educational value. We would like to develop protocols for organizing and storing digitized data to ensure accessibility and long term preservation, and implement metadata standards for consistency and interoperability with other collections and databases. We would like to collaborate with educators to design virtual programs and exhibits tailored to the needs and interests of children aged 5 to 12, and incorporate digitized specimens and educational content into virtual reality and gaming applications to enhance engagement and learning outcomes. We would like to promote the availability of digitized collections and virtual programs through outreach efforts targeting schools, colleges, and scientific communities, and organize workshops, webinars, and public events to raise awareness about the museum's digitization efforts and educational offerings. We would like to foster partnerships with other institutions and organizations to expand access to digitized collections and collaborate on research projects. Finally, we would like to establish metrics and benchmarks to evaluate the effectiveness of digitization efforts in educational programs and collect feedback from users and stakeholders to assess the impact of digitized collections on research, education, and community engagement. And finally, we'd like to use evaluation findings to refine and improve digitization processes and educational content over time.
The first evaluation plan we have is for digitizing and publishing the collection. Our targets are to establish a digital repository, to increase the accessibility of the collections, and to digitize another 20% of all collections. Meeting these targets would be indicated by the data being available online and its accessibility being guaranteed by our partners. This data will be collected by the grant writers and researchers. The other evaluation plan we have is for the outcome of increased digital educational services. Our targets are that collected information can be successfully translated to educational programs, that these programs can be easily used by children's ages 5 through 12, and that programs take place at least once a month. These targets will be tracked with monthly engagement surveys, website data logs, and student teacher feedback forms. This data will be collected by grant writers and educators.
The benefits of all these efforts are impressive. They overlap and feed into each other. What was before an in person local audience will become a global online audience. Because the content will be interactive and comprehensive, this will lead to contributions in education, to natural history as a discipline, and help tell the story of Florida's ecology, and let it become part of a larger biological context. There is so much enmeshed value that it can be overwhelming to look at all of the good this project will bring at once.
When looking at our budget, 1,800,000 goes towards digitization infrastructure. We believe that a good portion of our grant will be allocated towards the setup of digitized equipment and software, such as high resolution scanners, imaging systems, specimen databases, and data management platforms. By investing in good digitization infrastructure, we hope that the process will give us the highest outcome possible. This budget also includes VR equipment that we'll use after everything is digitized to make it accessible for children and for our educational programs. We also have our budget for personnel and training. We believe that having skilled personnel to execute our successful digitization projects will help us. A portion of the grant will be dedicated to hiring and training staff with experience of digitizing specimens and imaging and curating data. A significant emphasis will be placed on educational initiatives that will help us digitize collection to enhance our educational outreach efforts. This part of the grant money will go towards developing programs, developing the digital educational resources, and it also includes our programs for our VR, our online exhibits, our educational videos, and our interactive learning modules that we hope to give to schools and schools that come to visit. Our research support, that's 900,000, is to be utilized for our digitizational records to ensure that our research is accurate and also integrated with artificial intelligence to ensure that our learning technologies are enhanced and that our biodiversity research is understandable. A part of our budget will be for sustainability and long term impact. With all this hard work being done, we hope to preserve our strategies and our educational initiatives so that it could be used long term and can be built upon. In conclusion, requesting 4 million will help the Florida Museum of Natural History to accelerate its digitization efforts, expand educational outreach, support scientific research, and ensure the long-term sustainability of our digitized collection.
We will be utilizing the project reporting system through research.gov to submit updates to the NSF. The museum will provide these annual reports to the program officer no later than 90 days prior to the end of the current budget period. We also intend on providing a cumulative project report that will be made public on our respective websites.